Happy Days here, and in today's video we are doing Grand Party Day 5 of Season 17. Obviously, at this point we can't see teams. It's pretty much a matter of RNG. If you get at least 12 wins, consider yourself, good job. Pat yourself on the back because you did good. So at this point it's all just RNG. Could be good captains, could be all G5 captains. So let's go ahead and get into it and see what the first matches look like. So I am going to take on that bottom team just simply because if you look at it, it isn't a G5 captain, it's a Shanks captain. Obviously that front team that he has there is the Int team. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is choose that team. And I'm going to go ahead and have basically, I'm trying to guess where his strength team is probably going to be. It's probably going to be, actually it looks like there's a Psy team in the very back there, right? Because I believe that's the Psy Shank. So I'll probably do is for this match, do Luffy. For the second match, do Akainu. Just kind of figuring that he has that red team in the second slot and a Psy at the back end there. So we'll go ahead and get into it, see what it looks like, and see if we can take on these units. Now the benefit that we have here is that they have a Pooh on their side, so he's really meant to take on Psy units there, which kind of helps us out there. They do have Smoker, which you always have to be careful, just because his special bind is a pain. But outside of that, they don't have really too many crazy people. They do have Blue Jam in the back end, and as well as really the Blue Jam's really the only thing that kind of scares me, just because the type of advantage stuff. But this team does so much damage, I probably won't even have to worry about using a burst. But if it comes up, I might, just depending on how this fight ends up going, who gets special bound. Things like that just really kind of play a role in who does stuff. And the good news for us is that, yeah, it's unfortunate that Kaido got special bound. But the good news is that Luffy, who's kind of the main damage dealer here on this team, didn't. We're going to have Blackbeard go here, do a 35% HP cut. Hopefully Kobe will move G5 to the top and just make things a lot easier for us. So let's see what he does here. Awesome. He did move Luffy to the top. Like I said, unfortunately, we can't use the Kaido because of what happened there. But you can just see Gear 5 Luffy just rips through content, which is just fantastic. So at this point, I don't think there's really any way that we can lose. I'm not going to skip because I think we all saw what happened in my videos the other day. I thought for sure it was a clear victory, and I ended up having egg on my face when it didn't quite go that way. So I'm just going to make sure that it looks like we're going to win. Like I said, we have a burst if we have to use it, but I don't anticipate having to use it. Unfortunately for us, we just missed out on Luffy going. But we did special bind Blue Jam there, which is fantastic because he would have been a 4K hit if he would have went. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and skip. At this point, I know that there's no chance that they can beat me. So go ahead and skip that match there and go on to fight number 2. Like I said, I think they have a Psy team at that back slot there. So I'm guessing that they have a strength team in the middle there. But let's see what happens. So it looks like we guessed right, which was great. The good news for us is that this team, really the red team in general, is just so squishy that usually one G5 burst will most of the time take care of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just wait a little bit. Obviously their Jack special is going to go, which is going to hurt a little bit. That HP cut, it's not great, but I'm just going to wait for Akainu to go. And then once he goes, I'm just going to use my burst to hopefully take out that whole front line. Boom, like I said, they're a sponge to the G5 burst. So if you can correctly guess which team has the Psy team on and you have a burst ready, it's almost a guaranteed victory, which is fantastic. So there you go. Match number 1 of the day was pretty smooth sailing because we couldn't see what was happening. Like I said, it's good to set your friend captain. Someone will just let someone know what that team looks like. It just helps everyone out. So just make sure you go ahead and do that. All right. Match number 1 of the day done. Let's take a look at match number 2 and see what our opponents look like. So for match number 2, we're going to face that middle team there. It has Kaku. He is a strength unit, so we know that the strength is in the second position, which just leaves the question of what is in the first. Is it a quick team? Is it a striker or slasher team? So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to obviously face this team. But I think what I'm going to do, just in case it's a quick team, I think I'm going to have my in team up front. That seemed to be pretty good at stopping them. And then, like I said, then I'll have hopefully a burst ready to go in that second match, take on the strength team. And then worst case, we have the third team there as well that we could use if we have to. So let's go ahead and see how this goes. So it looks like it's the Psy team, which is a little bit unfortunate for us, just because obviously Psy has the advantage over us. They are debuffed this season, so that is the good news, if there is some good news on there. And the other good news is that it's not an evolved G5 captain there, so that kind of helps us out. But the Yamato is going to do a lot of damage to us, just because, like I said, the type advantage that's there. So what we really probably hope we can do is get Smoker to really go off and special bind some people, and then hopefully that just makes it a little bit easier. Now the good news is we don't have many slashers on this team, so we don't get a lot of those debuffs from the Nell and those guys, but this is going to hurt right here. So we took a pretty nasty shot there. Uta's just taking shots left and right, and unfortunately for us, because we're also facing Law, we get debuffed there. So yeah, I think what we'll do, I think the game plan here is just going to save the burst for the last 2 fights, just because unfortunately for us, I thought it was going to be a quick team up front, but as you can see, it was not. So we could probably still win if we got our burst off, but like I said, it's not a guarantee. So we'll see what happens once Smoker goes, and see if we can even get enough, more damage to even get that special being able to get triggered there. Fortunately, Special Bind did nothing there. No, actually I am going to use a special, because it'll be guaranteed victory. Just waiting for Aokiji to come in on the bench, just so I can make sure that he gets hit. And there we go. Should be a pretty easy victory now. Even though we had a tight mismatch, like I said, that was close. If they had a much more invested Psy team, that would have been bad. But luckily for us, they didn't. So now this should be a quick versus Psy matchup. I'm sorry, a quick versus strength matchup. So that should just kind of help us out there. They don't have G5 Luffy, so that is huge. That is just going to save us that they don't have G5 Luffy. Now, they still do have Kuma, who can hit the defense. They have that stupid Raizo unit in the back end who does a special bind, so just some things to look out for there. But with the type advantage in my bench, I think that this should be a pretty easy victory number 2 here. Like I said, we just want to make sure we can get Akainu to go here. Perfect. And we'll just go ahead and use our burst just to get rid of everyone. Luckily for us, the Tesoro's going to go with the 4,000 hit, as well as Shiru, who should go within the first 30 seconds. I think he'll also do some additional damage there. All right, there we go. So match number 2 is done. Like I said, thanks to putting the captain in the middle team, it was pretty easy for us to figure out what team was in the middle and kind of strategize for how we want to go and take on the content to get us win number 2 of the day. All right, one way to see what happens. Let's go ahead and take a look at what our opponents are for match number 3. So huge shout out to these homies who all set their captain to a friend captain just to help secure that 15th win if we do win. So huge shout out to these 3 guys. Please do that when you're done your matches for the day. Help everyone out. Let everyone get 15 out of 15. There's no benefit to only a certain members of the group or community getting it. So just help everyone out, take your captain at the end of the day. That being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and see the problem with I know the top team has a int unit in their third match there. The tricky part about the Sasaki is it could be either part of the striker team or it could be the strength team. I just don't know. So I don't really want to gamble too much there. So I think what I'm going to do is take on this bottom team over here with the poor Kemi. I know that the middle team will be a blue team. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and use my strength team first, throw my int team against that in the middle section. And then, like I said, if we have to, we'll have the quick team at the back end to go help us there. But the int team seemed to tank hits really well from the blue team when we were trying out yesterday. So I think that's the strategy we're going to go with. Now, I am leaning out with my strength team, just because, like I said, we know that that strength team's pretty crazy. The unfortunate part for us is it looks like it's close to being a mirror match. Obviously, we have the new Blackbeard, they don't. But the benefit that we have is we have the burst, and they don't, right? So, obviously, if they hit us, it's going to hurt. And if we hit them first, we'll use the burst to kind of secure the victory. If we don't hit them first, if they hit us first, then there's a good chance that their Luffy might take out a couple of our units. So what we'll go ahead and do there is just kind of play it safe and probably save our burst for the second and third fight if they get their Luffy to go first. Now, unfortunately, they have the higher cooldown on their Luffy, it looks like. But even though their Luffy is pretty much ready to go, thanks to the haste, it looks like we'll be able to have our Luffy go first, which should charge the burst, which should just make it easy for us to hopefully just get the win there. And with that, we should charge the burst fully there. So I'm waiting for the back end units to come in. And do I want to... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to use my burst right now, I don't think. I could, but actually I could save it so I have 2 bursts for the next stage in case I really want to... Or even save one for, you know, the last stage if things don't go well in the next fight. But I think that that's kind of the approach I want to go with, just to kind of make the chance of me getting 15 wins a little bit higher. So as expected, it's the quick team. Let's see if they have a Luffy. They do have a Luffy on the bench, so obviously you always have to watch out for that. But like I said, our int team is pretty stacked up. We are going to take the 30% shot from Akainu, which always is a pain. But that kind of just is what it is. It's part of the grind there. So you can see a lot of their specials are already just about ready to go. So what I'm going to do is just kind of do some damage there. And like I said, we're going to take some damage here. But hopefully, we just missed out on our smoker going and doing some special bind there, which was really unfortunate. Because that would have really helped us out. But you can see that they lower their defense a lot, which is a pain. But we go on. I was hoping we'd be able to kill Smoothie just because she'll reverse 2 specials. And of course it was Uta who she reversed, which is not great, but it'll be great once we get our smoker in so we can hopefully actually special bind someone, maybe even take out some of the units there. So we got the Smoothie out, which was good. We special bind Akainu, which doesn't really matter too much. He does the fixed HP damage cut. But because we have kind of low health, it's not really too crazy against us there. So yeah, now it's just kind of waiting. I think when Uta goes, we'll have our... let's see if we get any special bind here. Luckily we didn't. When Uta goes, we'll luckily probably get our burst charged and then hopefully be able to just use it just to secure the victory there. I'll wait for any of the back end units to come in, including that G5 Luffy, and I'll just go ahead and use the G5 burst. Perfect. His revive hit, which is great for us. Special's not anywhere near going, so hopefully we'll be able to just take him out before he gets even able to use his special. There we go. So we lucked out. Like I said, I think a lot of the luck was just people didn't have the G5 friend captain, so as I've been saying all along for the last couple seasons, make sure that when you're done for the day, you go ahead and set your friend captain to a not G5, so you can just help everyone go. Preferably put them in the middle team so people can kind of see what your teams might be, or at least take an educated guess at what those teams might be. So at the end of the day, just come in. I'm going to go ahead and set the leader to this guy over here, just so everyone kind of knows what he is. Go back to the home screen, and now helping out homies to get 15 wins. So that's going to wrap it up for the video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section how you did on day 5 of Grand Party for Season 17. Did you get all 15 wins? Did you get the gems? Did you get the title? Or did you unfortunately lose to RNG and weren't able to get 15? Let me know. Love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, be kind to each other.